Cubot for sure is one of my favorite Chinese brands, and I have been able to test another device of them. This time it was the Cubot X17, which is the thinnest device Cubot have ever made. The manufacturer managed to create a 6.1mm thin device that boasts a 5-inch Full HD display, MediaTek's MT6735A SoC clocked at 1.3 GHz, a whopping 3GB of RAM, 16GB of memory, and a 16MP camera, as well as a 2500 mAh battery. But before we have a closer look at the Cubot X17, let's first check out its packaging. And yes, it is the typical Cubot phone box again. They ship all the device in right now. The box is bronze colored and offers a structured surface. The design is rather minimalistic with the small Cubot logo on the front. The rear has some sticker on it telling us about the phone specs and the manufacturer. Inside we find quite a lot of accessories, including a 1A power supply, a micro USB cable, a SIM tray opening tool, a multi-language quick start guide, a replacement protective film, and a hard case to protect the phone's rear. And here it is, the Cubot X17 in all its glory, and really when I held the phone in my hands for the very first time, I couldn't do other than say wow. I mean, just look at that thing. This handset is beautiful, very beautiful, and it offers a very impressive build quality too. Well, of course the design isn't unique since it obviously got inspired by Oppo's R5, but hey, at least we have a device to compare the X17 with thanks to that. Look at how thin this phone is. I mean, this is really something you don't see too often in the $160 price range, and indeed this is the price range we are moving in with this phone. And despite the low thickness, the phone is very sturdy. Look at that, I just can't bend it without applying a lot of force. The reason for the sturdiness is the full metal chassis that is made from one piece of aluminum together with the frame. The metal plate on the rear gives some additional toughness. Cubot even managed to place the hardware buttons on the right side in a way so they don't move a lot. That often is a problem with Chinese phones, especially when they are using metal buttons. Often that results in a rattling noise when shaking the phone, but that's not the case here. By the way, even the SIM tray is very well made and is almost even with the phone's frame. You only feel a very slight gap in between those parts. The slot houses either one nano SIM and a micro SD card, or one micro and one nano SIM card. So are there any downsides at all? Well, a few minor ones I've found. First, I would have liked if the camera wouldn't stick out of the body that much. Also, the touch buttons below the screen are not back illuminated, which I dislike a little. Furthermore, I noticed that the status LED shines through the plastic panel on the rear in darkness. But besides of those minor flaws, I'm 100% satisfied with the Cubot X17's design and build quality. The screen used on the Cubot X17 is a 5-inch Full HD panel, and that is surprising since the used chipset officially does only support screens with up to 720p resolution, but it seems like Cubot found a workaround for that. Now before I tell you more about how that impacts the phone's performance, I first want to talk about the screen's quality. According to Cubot, the screen is made by JDI and covers 90% of the NTSC color space. Well, I can't really verify that, but I tend to believe that claim since the panel looks pretty good. It displays colors in a very natural way, which makes it a pleasure to watch movies and pictures. If you want some more intense colors though, MediaTek Mirror Vision is always there for you. Contrast and brightness of the panel are very nice, as well as are the viewing angles. The touch panel is also left a good impression. The surface is very smooth and apparently also scratch proof. The digitizer's precision is good as well, but sometimes I have to tap 2 times, but that never reaches a disturbing level, so I am fine with that. The protective film that comes with the device is a little matte, thus keeping away reflections and reducing fingerprints. And now we move on to the performance of the phone. The most important question, of course, is how the Full HD resolution impacts the speed, since obviously Cubot went higher than the 720p limit set by MediaTek, and the MT6735 is known to be the most powerful SoC with its 4 1.3 GHz A53 cores and the dual cluster Meili T720 GPU. Well, Cubot always did well when it comes to software optimization and always managed to squeeze out a lot of speed of budget chipsets. Along with the 3GB GB of RAM, which definitely is unusual in combination with this chipset, and the fast 16 GB of memory, which reached 147 MB per second in reading speed, they managed to cover up the performance deficit caused by the high resolution. Really, the Cubot X17 is actually the smoothest phone running the MTX 735 I've seen to date. It indeed is amazing to see what Cubot did here. The whole operating system runs buttery smooth, and even a lot of opened apps at a time don't cause the device to slow down a lot. The phone actually feels faster than some not so well optimized MTX 753 devices, and that's pretty impressive. A performance deficit is only noticeable when playing demanding 3D games. Older games are still playable on medium graphics settings, and that includes GT Racing 2 and Dead Trigger 2 to name a few examples. Games like Nova 3 or Modern Combat 5, however, are not playable, so in the end, the Cubot X17 definitely is only good for casual gamers. When it comes to software, Cubot for the very first time have dared to change a few things on Android. The launcher has been slightly modified and the multitasking view got improved to display interesting information about the battery like charge, voltage and temperature, as well as the used RAM. With one tap on a button you can clean the RAM. Off-screen gestures are supported as well, which means you can wake up the phone by double tapping on the screen, and they even remember to implement a pocket protection mode so you won't wake up the phone by accident. Furthermore, I love that the Android 5.1 running on the X17 is clean. There are no pre-installed apps besides Xender, and there is no adware or viruses of any kind. Even the stage fright vulnerabilities have been fully fixed. In the end, I only noticed one flaw, and that's that you cannot move apps to the microSD card. To do so, you will have to root the phone and use third-party applications like Folder Mount, for example. Connectivity-wise, the Cubot X17 delivered a very good performance as well. I've never had any issues connecting to mobile networks, and the phone even had a higher signal strength than most other mid-range devices. The same applies to Wi-Fi as well, which enabled me to surf the internet even in rooms most devices lose connection to the router. GPS was working fine as well. The handset easily managed to get a fix for 19 satellites and reached an accuracy of 2 meters. Tracking and navigation performed well as well, with no issues at all. The only downside is that there is no magnetic compass. When doing phone calls, I was surprised that the Cubot X17 offered a pretty good audio quality despite there not being any dedicated noise cancelling mic. The interlocutor can be understood easily and vice versa. Listening to music through the internal media speaker unfortunately isn't too much of a pleasure, which is caused by the slim body. Cubot obviously lacks the know-how to make thin devices sound good. The speaker sounds pretty flat and a bit scratchy at high volume. Anyway, that gets compensated by a very good audio quality through headphones. The Cubot X17 delivers a crystal clear and powerful audio output that is very well balanced. I'm surprised they don't advertise that as a feature. The Cubot X17's camera delivers the best performance of all Cubot phones I've tested to date. Without exaggerating, the camera creates pictures that are flagship worthy and easily keep up with devices like the Meizu M2 Note and the Le TV Le One. I don't know which sensor they use exactly. Cubot says it's a 16 megapixel camera, but I believe that this is an interpolated resolution. I for myself always tend to use the native resolution to take pictures, which in 16:9 widescreen mode is 9.5 megapixels on the Cubot X17. As you can see, the pictures are really sharp and offer very realistic colors. The amount of details you get even on high distance to objects is simply amazing, and that even is the case during bad weather conditions, which results in suboptimal lighting. But even in dusk or at night, the Cubot X17 still can do some very nice shots, especially in HDR mode. The pictures of the Frankfurt skyline you see here have been taken in almost full darkness, yet the camera managed to squeeze out a lot of light. But even pictures in full darkness do look very nice and atmospheric. You just have to pay attention to keep still or find something to support your hands with. Video recordings look nice as well in 1080p mode, and like pictures capture a lot of details along a very nice audio quality. Unfortunately, the videos suffer from a slight lag, especially at night. Battery life, unfortunately, is where you have to live with some limitations, but that might improve a little with future updates. Due to the slim body, the Cubot X17 only comes with a 2500 mAh battery, and that is noticeable. The screen on time measured with Geekbench 3 is 5 hours and 44 minutes with automatic brightness control. That isn't a bad result, but not an overwhelmingly good one as well. I for myself managed to get throughout the day with the phone, but only till evening. At 6 to 7 p.m. webcam, I mostly had to look for a power socket or use my power bank. But to be honest with you, that didn't really disturb me, since when using a 2 ampere power supply or power bank, the Cubot X17 charges very fast. It takes only 17 minutes to get from 20% to 100%, and that's exactly the same time VOOC takes to charge the Oppo R5 or R7. All in all, I can say that I have been very impressed by the Cubot X17, and I still am. It really is impressive how Cubot managed to build such a good phone at only $160. The build quality, screen, performance, reception quality and camera are all on a very high level, and the only downside of this device is the comparably short battery life, but that might be something that can be improved with software updates. Anyway, I can give you a full purchase recommendation, since this phone definitely is one of the best choices available in the 5-inch segment to date, and in my opinion even is a tad better than its device of inspiration, the Oppo R5. So that's all from my side. Thank you for watching this review, and I hope you will be with me again on the next review. As usual, if you have questions, drop a comment. If you like what we are doing at GizChina Germany, make sure to subscribe to this channel and pay us a visit on www.gizchina.de. Bye bye, over and out.